Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Jai Om Vishnupad Puramansa Parivraj Acharya Stotra Sri Srimad A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai, Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Shama Gun Radha Gun Giri Govardhan Ki Jai, Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Navdeep Dham Ki Jai, Jagannath Puri Ki Jai, Ganga Mai Ki Jai, Shamana Mai Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, All glories to the assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to the assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to the assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
Gaur Premanande.
Hare.
Welcome everybody to Srimad Bhagavatam reading with His Holiness Jayādvaita Swami. It is Wednesday, February 18th, 2026. And if I'm correct, we finished chapter 25 yesterday,
Yes.
Canto 4. Is that right? That's what the chat says. The chat history says that.
We haven't finished entire text 62. We still have 2 paragraphs left.
Okay, we are on Canto 4, chapter 25, text 62, in the middle of the purport.
Yeah. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Vipralabdho Mahishyavam Sarva Prakriti Vanchitaha Nechchan Anukurot Yagya Flabhyat Krida Mrago Yata. In this way, King Purunjana was captivated by his nice wife and was thus cheated. Indeed, he became cheated in his whole existence in the material world. Even against that poor, foolish king's desire, he remained under the control of his wife, just like a pet animal that dances according to the order of its master. Purport continued. How one becomes captivated by the association of one's dear wife is explained in this chapter by Narad Muni. Attraction for one's wife means attraction for the material qualities. One who is attracted by the material quality of darkness is in the lowest stage of life, whereas one who is attracted by the material quality of goodness is in a better position. Sometimes we see that when a person is on the platform of material goodness, he is attracted more or less by the cultivation of knowledge. This is, of course, a better position, for knowledge gives one the preference to accept devotional service. Unless one comes to the platform of knowledge, the Brahmabhuta stage, one cannot advance in devotional service. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Brahmabhuta prasannatma nashochati nakankshati samasarveshu puteshu madbhaktim labhate pranam. One who is thus transcendentally situated at once realizes the Supreme Brahma and becomes fully joyful. He never laments nor desires to have anything. He is equally disposed to every living entity. In that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me. The platform of knowledge is advantageous because it's a means by which one may come to the stage of devotional service. However, if one takes to devotional service directly, knowledge is revealed without separate endeavor. This is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam. Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janiyatiyashu Vairagyam Jnanam Jayādvaitakam. Devotional service automatically reveals actual knowledge of our material existence. One who is sufficiently intelligent immediately attains the stage of renunciation of so-called society, family, and love, as well as other things. As long as we are attached to society, family, and love of the material world, there's no question of knowledge. nor is there a question of devotional service. By directly taking to devotional service, however, one becomes filled with knowledge and renunciation. In this way, one's life becomes successful. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Koda Mahyam Dadati Shapadantikam Bande Hang Shri Guru Shri Jatapada Kamala Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Shagrajatam Shagana Raghunathan Vitam Stam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pradam Shagana Lulita Sri Vishakhan Vitamscha E Krishna Guruna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Prishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye.
Gurumash, you're choppy, so I stopped your video. Hare Krishna.
Okay, there we go. Oh, attraction for the nice wife means attraction to the material qualities. Therefore, one remains attached in family life, and as described here, one becomes like a dancing dog or a domesticated animal, nice and tame. And he, Atmapatam, he practically kills himself, kills his spiritual life because of attraction to material qualities. Therefore, Anabhishvanga Putra Dhargrahadishu in the Bhagavad Gita, one should be detached from wife, children, and so on. This is one of the items of knowledge mentioned in the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, items for the cultivation of knowledge. And therefore, even for those who are devotees, the detachment from family life is recommended, and especially when one reaches about the age of 50, one should give up family life and take to at least the Vanaprastha ashram for detachment from these material qualities. The Prabhupada mentions that better than passion and ignorance is to be situated in goodness, because from goodness one can make further progress to devotional service. Or if one just takes up devotional service directly, automatically everything else follows, especially Jnana Vairagya, knowledge and detachment. Sattvat Sanjayate Jnana, from goodness, knowledge develops, but from devotional service, everything, knowledge, detachment, everything required. As long as one is attached to society, family, and love of the material world, there's no question of knowledge, nor is there a question of devotional service. Directly one should take up Krishna consciousness. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments, Vipralabdha means having specially attained a condition in this way, specially conditioned by the intelligence, at all times cheated of his nature of knowledge and bliss, sarva prakriti, giving up his nature, not wanting to because of his nature, but coming under the control of another, Klaibyat, assuming a different nature, he followed her. He imposed these qualities over the soul. And we've read the wife of King Puranjana represents intelligence affected by ignorance. So under the attraction to his wife, he came under the control of the modes of material nature and under the control of the wife. His real sango hiyam purusha. The living entity has nothing to do with the modes of material nature, but under the spell of attraction by the material energy, he becomes entangled. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 4th canto, 25th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Descriptions of the Characteristics of King Puranjana. Okay, any comments, questions?
Hari Gupta Prabhu writes, Hari Krishna Maharaj, if one is devoid of any hankering and lamenting, why will they take up devotional service? What will be the impetus if one is completely satisfied?
Brahmabhuta Prasanatma. Even if one is on the Brahmabhuta platform, Itam Bhuta Guna Hari, one can be attracted by the transcendental qualities of Krishna. Even the impersonalists become attracted by the transcendental qualities of Krishna. The hankering and lamenting and wanting to get free from that may bring us to the Brahma platform, but one has to go further. And otherwise, what is that? Yes, even on the platform of the Brahman platform, one will not be fully satisfied unless one is engaged in devotional service. But if one is on the Brahmabhuta platform, he can be attracted by the qualities of Krishna and by the message of Krishna as given in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharman Pratyajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. There's more to the attractive qualities of bhakti than merely freedom from hankering and lamenting. It's the natural condition of the living entity. Even Vyasadeva, after writing so many books of Vedic knowledge, was not satisfied. And why? You haven't glorified Krishna. I hope that's all right. Anything else? Okay. Someone like to read the next verses?
Yes. Okay. Narada Uvacha Sa ekada maheshvaso ratam panchasvam asugam dvisham dvichakram ekaksham trivenum panchabandhuram ekarasmeka damanam ekanidam dvikubaram panchapraharanam sapta varutham panchavikramam Aimopaskaram aruhya swarnavarma ये श्रुति एकादश चामुन्नतः नातः पञ्चपृष्ठम् अगाध्वनम्. Translation. The great sage Narada continued, My dear king, once upon a time, King Puranjan took up his great bow and equipped with golden armor and a quiver of unlimited arrows and accompanied by 11 commanders. He sat on his chariot driven by 5 swift horses and went to the forest named Panchaprastha. He took with him in that chariot 2 explosive arrows. The chariot itself was situated on 2 wheels and 1 revolving axle. On the chariot were 3 flags, 1 rein, 1 chariot driver, 1 sitting place, 2 poles to which the harness was fixed, 5 weapons, and 7 coverings. The chariot moved in 5 different styles, and 5 obstacles lay before it. All the decorations of the chariot were made of gold. Purport. These 3 verses explain how the material body of the living entity is under the control of 3 qualities of external energy. The body itself is the chariot, and the living entity is the owner of the body, as explained in Bhagavad Gita 2.13. Dehinosmin yata dehe. The owner of the body is called the Dehi, and he is situated within this body, specifically within the heart. The living entity is driven by 1 chariot driver. The chariot itself is made of 3 gunas, 3 qualities of material nature, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 1861. Yantra Rurani Mayaya. The word yantra means carriage. The body given by material nature, the body is given by material nature, and the driver of that body is Paramatma, the super soul. The living entity is seated within the chariot. This is the actual position. The living entity is always being influenced by 3 qualities: sattva, goodness; rajas, passion; and tamas, ignorance. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 7.13. Tribhir gunamair bhavai. The living entity is bewildered by the 3 qualities of material nature. These 3 qualities are described in this verse as 3 flags. By a flag, one can come to know who the owner of the chariot is. Similarly, by the influence of the 3 qualities of material nature, one can easily know the direction in which the chariot is moving. In other words, one who has eyes to see can understand how the body is being driven, influenced by the particular type of quality of material nature. In these 3 verses, the activity of the living entity is described to prove how the body becomes influenced by the quality of ignorance, even when a person wants to be religious. Narad Muni wanted to prove to King Prachini Barishad that the king was being influenced by Tamoguna, the quality of ignorance, even though the king was supposed to be very religious.
Hmm.
Should I continue?
Let's pause for a moment. So another extended analogy is here concerning the chariot on which king will go out hunting. And so many items are described, the flags, the particularly, and the conclusion, how one is being, one thinks he's religious, but actually he's being influenced by Tamagun.
According to Karma Kandiya, the process of rooted activities, a person performs various sacrifices directed by the Vedas, and in all those sacrifices, animal killing or experimenting on the life of animals to test the power of Vedic mantras is enjoined. Animal killing is certainly conducted under the influence of the mode of ignorance. Even though one may be religiously inclined, animal sacrifices is recommended in the Shastras, not only in Vedas but even in the modern scriptures of other sects. These animal sacrifices are recommended in the name of religion, but actually, animal sacrifice is meant for persons in the mode of ignorance.
Hmm.
When such people kill animals, they can at least do so in the name of religion. However, when the religious system is transcendental, like the Vaishnava religion, there is no place for animal sacrifice. Such a transcendental religious system is recommended by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Sarva dharmam parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo moksheshyami ma suchaha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reaction. Do not fear. Because King Prachini Varishad was engaged in performing various sacrifices in which animals were killed, Narad Muni pointed out that such sacrifices are influenced by the mode of ignorance. From the very beginning of the Srimad Bhagavatam 112, it is said, Dharma projita kaitavatra. All kinds of religious systems that are involved in cheating are completely kicked out of Srimad Bhagavatam. In the Bhagavad Dharma, the religion dealing with one's relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, animal sacrifice is not recommended. In the performance of Sankirtan Yajna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, there is no recommendation for animal sacrifice.
Hmm. In the Shastras, there's animal killing according to restriction. And as Prabhupada points out in other sects also, there's this animal killing. If you go to the Hebrew scriptures, and there's sacrifice. And you kill this kind of animal, which has to have these kind of characteristics and not those kind of characteristics. So the animal killing is allowed, but it's horrible, actually. And it's described, you have to kill the animal this way, and then you sprinkle the blood over you. The priest sprinkles the blood on the assembled people, and what is that? How nasty it is. The people in the mode of ignorance, this is our religion. And the Vedic religion also. And similarly, in the Christians, if there's something very nice and they have a feast, and animal killing. Islam, I've seen sometimes if you go to an Islamic country and they're celebrating Eid, then I saw in Cairo, I think, they had a cart where they're carting off the dead carcass of some animal. And people in the mode of ignorance, they don't get it. That some living entity has been needlessly slaughtered for our sense gratification. They think that's nice. We get to eat this. We get to eat that, and they don't extend that feeling of compassion. That why should this animal be killed? This is ignorance. But for those who are addicted to animal eating, animal killing, then all right, it's something. But Dharma projita kaitavatra. In Bhagavatam, cheating religion is kicked out. And in the Sankirtan Yajna, there's sacrifice, but no animal has to be killed for the sacrifice. Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam. Okay. Anything? Yes, there's some comments.
Yes. Saraswati Masterji writes, Param Puja Gurudev and all the Vaishnavas. Gurudev, I don't understand how when a devotee acts according to Bhagavatam religion, like giving charity by kings, they still get punished. Example is King Nriga gave cows in charity and got cursed to be lizard. Wouldn't Krishna be pleased with charity of cows to Brahmana?
To some extent, but this is karmakandi activity. It's not that King Nirga was a pure devotee and therefore he was giving cows to the Brahmins. But this was his religion. We give charity, we give more charity, we do pious activities. Karmakandi Kandiya people will dig wells and they'll establish shady places by planting trees on the side of the road. They'll give charity in the form of cows or what have you. They'll support free food distribution to hungry people. They'll do all of these things. But that's not Bhagavad Dharma. That's not pure devotional service. Their idea is, I'll do this activity, I'll do that activity, I'll be freed from sinful reactions, I'll get punya, pious credit, and by my pious credit, I may be able to go to the heavenly planets. In this way, they're thinking of material advancement by performing good deeds. Even these today people say, I believe in doing good. My religion is to do good for other people. Or they, even without religion, they take up some cause, protecting the porpoises, saving the rainforests, and they think that these are very good activities. They're good, but good means material. And material means Mrityu Samsara Vardhani, continuing in the cycle of birth and death. So King Nirga, so it's good you gave cows. Wouldn't Krishna be pleased if we gave cows in charity? Wouldn't Krishna be pleased if we opened hospitals? Wouldn't Krishna be pleased if we distributed food for hungry people? Wouldn't Krishna be pleased if we had an anti-abortion campaign? Wouldn't Krishna be pleased if we opened drug clinics? Wouldn't Krishna be pleased? All pious activities. If we establish a library, whatever it is, so many pious activities or good activities or what is the word? Laudable activities. Wouldn't Krishna be pleased? Not really. What really pleases Krishna is Sarvadharman Partyajya. Mamekam, just surrender to me. Develop your love for me. Mad Bhakta. Directly take to devotional service. Otherwise, it's all right. It's better than sinful activities, better than greed, acquisitiveness, and so on. No, it's very pious, very nice. But that's the Prabhupada calls it sub-religious principles. Karma Kandya, at least you're doing something. Jnana Kanda, at least you're making progress. That's better than cultivating the mode of ignorance. Vidyam cha yas tad vedo. What is that? Anyadevahur vidyaya, anyadahur vidyaya. You get one result by pursuing vidya, another by pursuing avidya. So knowledge is better. As Prabhupada pointed out earlier in the purport, knowledge is better than ignorance. But just cultivation of knowledge, or below that, the cultivation of pious activities, it's not sufficient. One should directly take up devotional service. Then the Lord actually becomes pleased. Is that okay?
There is this verse in Bhagavad Gita, Yat Karoshi Yad Asnasi Yad. So sometimes I hear this explanation of this verse that if you give charity to someone, if you, whatever work, normal work that you are doing, so just do it as if you are doing it for Krishna. In that mood you do it. So is it the right explanation? You do the same work, you give the charity, but you think that I am doing it for Krishna. So
From one point, yeah, what is that called? Kamaropya.
Arop Siddha Bhakti.
Aropya bhakti. That you plant a flag that this is for Krishna. So yeah, therefore, Ehobhaiha, when Ramananda Roy was suggesting Karoshi Yadashnashi, now this is external. Tell me something more. Because yes, I mean one can. Just like the devotees, pure devotees, they're doing everything for Krishna. But it's not sort of compromise that this is what I'd like to do. This is my material life, but I'll dedicate it to Krishna. That's also appreciated, yes, good. But, before I have my samosa chat and Faluda and all of the things that I like. Sri Vishnu. So, all right, good. But the real thing is, I don't do anything except for the satisfaction of Krishna, pure devotional service. Otherwise, so from that point of view, it can be taken as an intermediate instruction. Whatever you do for me. In Bhagavad Gita in the 12th chapter. Taita japya shaktosi mat karma paramobhava. If you can't engage in following regulative principles of devotional service, sadhana bhakti, then work for me. Taita japya shaktosi mat karma paramobhava. Do it for me. That's appreciated, but that's the third rung down. The first is Mameva Mana Atatsva Vai Buddhi Nivesha. Just fix your mind completely on me, be absorbed in Krishna consciousness. But if you're not on the spontaneous platform, all right, then follow the regulative principles of devotional service so that you'll develop a desire to come to me. All right, you can't do that. Then work for me. So from that point of view, the explanation is accepted.
So, Maharaj, this work for me also some differently described by different devotees. Sometimes they say work for me means whatever is your prescribed duty as per your conditional nature. You just give the results to Krishna. Sometimes work for me is like working directly for Krishna, like we do some preaching activity. And sometimes they describe work for me is you are doing your prescribed duty, just put that flag, like just think that I'm doing it for Krishna.
What is that? Yata pravitir bhutanam yena sarvamidam tatam karmana tamapyarcha siddhim vindati mana. By performing one's prescribed duties, one attains perfection. Yata pravitir bhutana yena sarvamidam tatam. By performing one's prescribed duties with the idea of satisfying the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That was the first earlier suggestion by Ramananda Roy, that Varnashrama Charvata Purushena Parapuma Vishnua Rajyate Panta Nanyatato Shakarna. Yes, you perform your prescribed duties and that will satisfy Lord Vishnu. So that's also accepted. Again, there's more, everything, there are different ways of looking at it, or different, it can be applied in different ways. So yes, the verse can be taken that, yes, you just perform your prescribed duties, but do it for Krishna. We encourage someone, newcomer. Yes, you're an electrician, very good. Do that for Krishna, do this for Krishna. It's very good. Beginning is at least think that I'm doing this for Krishna. When you're there at your karmi job, think, yes, I'm doing this for Krishna. You'll make progress. Why are you there at your job? You're there to maintain your family and all of this. But if you think I'm doing this for Krishna, then think you'll be purified, everything gradually purified. Then more advanced, why should I be doing this useless stuff? Let me just fully engage in the service of Krishna. Or he becomes completely purified. I don't really care about the job, the family, but let me do it for Krishna. Just Arjuna is encouraged that you just do this for my satisfaction. So, according to the consciousness of the person, basically it's for sense gratification, but he knows that Krishna is there. So let me connect this with Krishna, let me offer this to Krishna. More advanced, he's thinking, what would please Krishna? I know this would please me, but I can offer it to Krishna. More advanced, he thinks, what will please Krishna? I may or may not be pleased. So either way, the verse can apply according to one's level of advancement.
Now, these days, one more intricacy has been added to this. Like sometimes there's one person who is working in a temple and he's taking, let us say, salary. So he is also working for Krishna.
Yes.
And there is another person who is working outside, taking salary outside, but dedicating some time in serving Krishna. So then the question is asked, like, which one is better? He is directly working for Krishna, although taking some fruits, and he is not working for Krishna all the time, but sometimes he is dedicating selflessly. So generally, many people they say, okay, since I am working outside, I can do the same thing in the temple, and there also I'm taking salary better than that.
Yeah, well, one is philosophy, and the other thing is practical management. Or both the two intersect here. But Srila Prabhupada didn't encourage salary business. When I'm working, just like I know one temple, more than one temple. So the pujaris are getting salary. And if the salary is not sufficient, they go to another temple. That, I'm not really getting enough here to support my family. So let me go to this other temple. That means the pure devotee, he thinks, no, I'm serving Gaurnitai, or I'm serving whoever the deity is. That's what I do. Let me serve. I may get money, I may not get money, whatever it is, somehow, but this is my service. And someone else thinks that, and that's, after all, what is the pujari? He's supposed to be serving the deity with devotion. Bhaktya mama vijanati. What is the business of deity worship? The business is not business. The business is devotion. So the pujari himself is not actually serving the deity out of love for the deity or devotion to the deity. It's a job. And you give him another deity with, you give him another job with better pay, he'll go there. Yes, I'm devoted to this deity, but now I'm devoted to this deity because they're giving me more money over here. So that means matlabi, motivated, not unmotivated devotional service. Motivated. And to the extent, the more it's motivated, the less it's appreciated. And basically he's doing business. Prahlad Maharaj was offered a benediction by Lord Nrsingadev. I'm not a Banik. My Lord, I didn't come here to do business with you. I want to serve you. I'm your servant. That's Prahlad Maharaj. That's pure devotional service. Not negotiation. I'm giving you a benediction. Only one. All right, let me think. I'm getting 3 benedictions. All right. An American will think, oh, you're giving me 3 benedictions. The first benediction I want is 10 more benedictions. Very intelligent. How to do business with Krishna. Giriraj Maharaj told that story that he went to make a life member, and the person was very intelligent. He got the life membership in the name of his son. So that way, if he'd gotten the life membership, he and his family would have gotten the benefit. But this way, it's like 3 generations will get the benefit. So he was very intelligent. He got the life membership in the name of his son. And then the son died. And the member came back, never try to treat Krishna again, never try to do business that way again. He understood. So, in the beginning, we offer, yes, become a life member, you'll get this, you'll get that. Yes, but you'll give something, so you'll make progress. But in the advanced stage, you give me or not give me, I just want to serve. So the paid pujari, the paid this, the paid that. I know there are places where they're paying, and they find that this is more congenial to good management, and they have their reasons. But it's not very much recommended to look for to serve for payment. In the BBT Prabhupada, no one should get a salary. And I know I had my godbrother Madhusudan, he was a householder. He was getting like in Los Angeles, serving at the press, he was getting like a flat and toothpaste money, like nothing, hardly anything. So that was Prabhupada's policy. If you're going to be maintained by the temple, that you should be living very frugally. Not that I negotiate a good salary and then Therefore, brahmachari life has that advantage. I don't have to think about, well, all right, I'd like to serve, but I'll need this much. Or I hear sometimes also, yes, I'm willing to serve, but I'll have to sacrifice this job where I'm getting this much. So you have to compensate me more or less accordingly. I could take a drop in salary, but this is what I'm getting. And so, 80% of that at least. So it becomes, that's what it is. And in family life, one typically, therefore it's called crippled life, Prabhupada sometimes say. Even if you want to serve under those, be like a full-time devotee, then you have to think, how much will I get? How will I maintain? What will they give me? No, that's not enough. I need this also. So it's the brahmachari just said, yes. What do you need me to do? How many hours of this? How many hours of that? And he doesn't have to consider that, no, I have to meet my household expenses. From that point of view, it's more appreciated. Prabhupada said quite a number of times, householders should work outside. People want basically brahmachari life with a wife and a salary. Brahmachari life is very nice. You serve in the temple, you chant Hare Krishna, you go on some kirtan, you have all devotional activities and the association of devotees. It's wonderful. So let me also have a wife and also have all those advantages of brahmachari life. But with a salary to maintain my wife and my children. So he wants all the benefits of brahmachari life and all the benefits of family life. Therefore, Prabhupada encouraged, if they want to get married, they should be willing to bear their own expenses. And if they want to live in the temple, all right, but then they have to serve. Otherwise, let them live outside and raise their own. And that's generally householder life. You work, you make money by honest means, and yes, you give some service to the temple. Either cash contribution or you give your time, you give both. But no, I want to have brahmachari life, but the brahmacharis should pay for my family. Or it leads to envy also. I'm working, maintaining my family, and I only get to come to the temple on the weekends. And this person takes my money and spends full time in the temple. The householders who are working, they're getting money and they're sacrificing. And they, undergoing that trouble of working some job. And here's, one or two people, no, we don't work, we just serve in the temple. And we take your money. So Prabhupada didn't very much encourage that kind of, if you want to work outside, get an honest job and honest occupation, and then contribute. Of course, for management, the managers have to figure out how to keep everything going, and sometimes these arrangements have to be made. Therefore, vanaprastha life is an advancement that, all right, done with family expenses, we'll come and serve in the temple. We'll live together and serve them. No, you live separately. Brahmachari ashram, ladies ashram, men's ashram, women's ashram, and you serve. And you'll see one another, and everything will be there. But you don't get all the, separate arrangements and comforts. Now you serve more. Or sometimes we see they're living outside, but they're spending all the time serving in the temple. They've got some money. They've got, they're meeting their necessities. That part's done. Now we'll just serve. Hare Krishna. There's more comments.
No, there's nothing in the chat box now. Raj, there's like 6 minutes to go. Should we attempt to read the next paragraph, or should we proceed to this one?
Should we do the next paragraph, or let's see. Yeah, there's too much. So let's see. Yeah, I think we can stop here. This is, yeah, we can stop here. And we can have kirtan, and we can move in here next time.
Could someone there lead the closing kirtan?
Yes.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai Om Vishnuvad Paramahansa Paripurajaka Stotras Sri Srimad A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Raj Prabhupada Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Jayādvaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopinath Sham Kun Radha Kun Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Navadip Dham Ki Jai, Jagannath Puri Ki Jai, Ganga Mai Ki Jai, Jamuna Mai Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanande.
Thank you to everyone for joining our Sangha. Tomorrow we have our Chaitanya Charitamrita reading. His Holiness Jayādvaita Maharaj Shri Ki Jai.
Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai.